For more, we're joined by Walter Isaacson, Tulane University professor, Perella Weinberg advisory partner, and also a CNBC contributor. Welcome back. So good to have you on this topic.
It's great to be back with you, Scott.
I'm wondering what you make of the fact that the Pope has now entered the conversation globally about AI, and that he did this alongside one of the Anthropic co-founders.
Well, first of all, you have to look at the profound message he's sending, which is these artificial intelligence, these technologies are not human. Now, that might seem obvious, but somehow we seem to forget at times that, they are fundamentally different from humans. And in the encyclical, Magnificent Humanity, he's talking about the special rights that humans have that should not be usurped by our technology. The fact that he had Chris Olah there, one of the co-founders of Anthropic, particularly interesting because Anthropic has been the most forward of the companies in understanding they have to wrestle with the moral questions.
It's interesting. The question of how do we make sure that the very worst of AI doesn't overcome us, and also that the companies that are leading the way, for lack of a better description, do the right thing. And Mr. Olah said something that was interesting that I want your reaction to, where he suggested, quote, "We need moral voices that the incentives cannot bend," which raises the issue, Walter, as to whether the companies can be trusted to make the right moral decisions on their own, or they need some form of a regulatory apparatus to protect them from themselves.
Well, let's start step by step, which is, it's right. You have to start with the moral principles. And I'm not sure we've done that yet when it comes to AI. We worry about some of the details and what's enforceable and what you can and can't do. But we should all pause for a second and say, here's some basic moral principles that have to be accepted by all. And that's what the Pope is leading the way to. Now, in a system of marketplace competition between companies and between countries where we're competing with China, it's very hard for one company like Anthropic to regulate itself, as we saw what happened when Anthropic said, no, we're not going to go along with the violation of our terms of service we have with the Pentagon when it comes to having humans in the loop in weapon systems and other things. And then the Pentagon gets upset at Anthropic, and then OpenAI says, okay, we'll step in. So I think step one is to get everybody to agree on the moral principles. Step two is say, how do we hold people accountable if they don't abide by basic moral principles that we've decided should exist?
The debate over regulation, I feel, is only going to continue, obviously, to percolate. And on one hand, you look at what the Pope has said and what others are saying and how people are feeling and say, well, of course you need some degree of regulation at hand here. But on the other, you suggest, well, we don't want to stifle this incredible technology, nor do we want to cede our place in this race to someone like China by over-regulating what we're doing.
Absolutely. You've put your finger on the problem. The problem is that we can't over-regulate or we'll lose out. But secondly, we don't know how to regulate. I mean, you're supposed to regulate a company for what it allows people, what it encourages people to say and think. If it encourages them to believe false ideas, do we want the government regulating that? It's very difficult. Plus, let's just look at practical things. President Trump had an executive order where he was going to do some regulation. At the last minute, he doesn't sign it because, some of the tech leaders said it's a bad idea. I don't think the executive branch, and certainly not Congress, is either willing or competent to regulate at the moment. So to wave our hands and say we need regulation, that can make you feel good, but it ain't going to happen. So we have to look at other ways to say companies are going to be accountable for what they do. They're going to be morally accountable. They're going to be legally accountable. They're going to be accountable in court. And they're going to be accountable in the court of public opinion for the things they do. That may not be as good as hard and fast regulation, but we have to start somewhere.